Hi, this is Monica Spirit Walker from Earth and Spirit Walk, and I'm here to talk to you this week about mind chatter during your meditations. Now, when we sit down to meditate, we often find that our mind is wandering and it's running across things we need to do, places we need to go, old things that we haven't dealt with. It just keeps running, it's going and going and going, and we can't seem to find that place of stillness or quiet within our minds. That is often called monkey mind. I'm going to give you a few ways that you can kind of deal with this, and eventually your mind will calm itself when you go into the point of meditation. First thing is, you need to always be gentle with yourself. It's okay that if you sit down to meditate, your mind runs in different directions. There's nothing wrong, it's not a bad thing. You need to understand that you cannot force your mind to be still and be quiet, because what happens is you create resistance and then you begin judging yourself because you can't get your mind to be quiet. So, what I'm going to go over is just a few things that you can do in order to quietly calm your mind. First, of course, if you were here for the first video where we talked about doing the breathing and paying attention to where your breath comes in and out on your nose, that will help with you centering and quieting your mind. Now, another thing is you can imagine that there is a color or a picture or a scene in your mind's eye, and you pay attention to that. So you would sit, you would close your eyes, and you would see the color blue, and you would focus on the blue. And if your mind wandered off and it comes back and it goes to different things, that's fine. Just gently refocus on the color blue. Now, what you can also do is, if you're really having a lot of difficulty getting that kind of focus, start out with a short time span. So let's go with 30 seconds to get your mind to focus. And then you slowly increase it to 1 minute. And then you go to 2 minutes. And eventually you'll find that over time you're able to focus more and your mind will quiet. Now, you can meditate once or twice a day, that's up to you. But these are techniques that really work and would help quiet your mind. Another thing that you do is, when you're in this state where you're trying to get to a quiet mind, pay attention to what's coming up. There may be things from your past that you need to deal with that your mind is bringing forth. Just gently note that this is an issue and set aside time to work on that. You may have appointments coming up. Just to gently acknowledge, okay, I know I have this appointment, and let it fall away. Now, other things that you can do when we're talking about getting your mind right to do this is be present. So make sure you have the time that you need to do your meditation. Don't try and squeeze it in between your appointment at 2:45 and you leaving, your kid's teacher half hour earlier. You need to be sure you have the right amount of time and the space to do this. That way your mind's not running on about, am I going to make it to my next appointment? When is the kid's next thing? Also, make sure your room is quiet and that you are by yourself. Now, an addendum to being quiet is that you can have a nice, soft music playing in the background while you are meditating. Because another way to quiet your mind is to focus on the sound of the music, and your mind will slowly drift into a quiet place. And even if your mind starts wandering again, just slowly refocus on the sounds that you hear. There's also another type of breathing that can be done that can help you focus and become a little more clearer. It's called Piko Piko, and it's a Hawaiian Huna breathing technique. What you do is you take your deep breath and you focus on your crown when you're breathing in, and as you exhale, you focus on your navel. And you do that for a few minutes, and it quiets you and it centers you, and it allows you to fall into that same quiet state. Now, something else that you can do to help with the mind chatter is start a journal. Call it your monkey mind journal, your mind chatter journal. And what you do is, the first 10-15 minutes of your meditation, just allow your mind to run amok. Go wherever it wants to go, say what it wants to say, write these things down. Once that time is up, what you do then is tell your mind, okay, your time span to say whatever it is you want to say is done. Now we're going to meditate. and it'll help slowly quiet it down, because eventually your mind will understand that it's not going to, keep subverting you from doing what you're doing. Always be gentle with yourself. Do not judge yourself because your mind is running. You are beginning this stage. You're beginning this lesson. This is not something that just instantly comes to people. Now, something else you can do to help with this mind chatter is to not worry so much about being able to do what everyone else does. It also helps that if this particular practice that you're using to bring clarity or bring your mind quietly doesn't work for you, to change it to something else. So if listening to the sound doesn't work, try something different. You can try mantras, you can try your breathing, you can focus on colors. Try different things that get you to a place where your mind will, quiet down. Don't just keep trying the same thing, banging your head against the wall and frustrating yourself because you can't get your mind to be quiet. So, that's really all there is to the whole mind chatter. And also, one other thing is, when you're paying attention to what comes to mind, make a list. When you come out of your meditations, make a list of what came up if you don't do your 15-minute mind chatter log. And then make a plan to handle those things that came up for you. So if there are things that are coming up from your past that you've never dealt with, it could be that your mind is trying to clear away old things that you need to let go of. Make a plan on doing that. If you are anxious and you are fearful and you're worried because, of course, I'm not getting this, it's not happening right now, let yourself know that it's okay. Everything will be all right. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're doing it right, because there is no right or wrong way. Sitting down in silent meditation is only one way to meditate. And in another video, we will talk about the many ways that you can actually meditate that don't require you to sit still. Okay? So you have a wonderful day. You enjoy yourself. Remember these things that I've said to you, and below this video will be a list on my website that tells you, step by step what these things are, so that you can get a visual on that. And my website is www.earthandspiritwalk.com. Hope to see you next week.